On tonight's show.
So do we know if the opposition are attending? It's better that they come.
So I don't think you was here when I said this. So I've literally just had a message back from Claire, because I told you I messaged her, saying that she's more than welcome to come in should she want, whether it be now, whether it be later, whenever she wants. Her reply to me was she does not give me permission to use any other stuff. However, I have since replied to her telling her tough shit, because she happily posted all my Telegram messages all over the internet without my consent. So tonight she doesn't have a choice, and that we are going through both chats.
Right, can I ask you, why is she not willing to comply? Why is she doing that? She's willing to go in only slanderous one-sided narratives. She's not, I got ambushed the other day. She's never been willing to allow my story to be spoken at all. And I don't understand why you're so adamant for justice for your daughter. If I've done this horrific crime to you, why are you never willing to have it out like this properly, where everybody is? We've spent our times getting our evidences. I've spent days, if not a couple of weeks, going through email after email, sending emails for more information so I can prove things that have been said about me are not true, giving people information about my life, my childhood, my children's lives that I haven't even looked at for years myself, because I've been living in Somalia. And she hasn't even got the fucking decency to come and front it, and I've never once asked you or any of your team members to side with me or to.
Well, this is
whatever.
This is what Claire has stuck in her head. She seems to think that we haven't, she seems to think that we've agreed with absolutely everything you've done, which, as you know yourself, that's never ever been the case. Like, when we told you, when you said shit wrong, like the other night, you said shit wrong. We know you said shit wrong. You were firing, God knows what. We didn't once sit there and say that was okay, like this side are projecting. And this is the issue. They're very hung up on this. They think it's very one-sided. She's claiming that she never had her chance.
Another thing I just want to mention, right? So the mental health thing, and I've got one of many psychological reports here. I've got a much more detailed one that I'm waiting for, which is actually extremely traumatic for me to share. But I will share parts of that, and I'm happy to, by the way, if anybody alleges that anything's fake, I'm happy to share the entire documents with you or more information so you can verify it's true. But I'm not going to be forced to post private details about other things that just to give them information that they don't need. I'll verify some things, because I never have. I've allowed this narrative to be pushed for years, like I say, but I've had a traumatic life, and to be accused of these things by people when, I'm not who they say that I am. I don't even partake, I don't have a private life. I've completely done a 360 to live my life a Chiron. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, it's incredibly boring from going from being a party girl that was always around people to now being in bed and doing nothing and sitting with myself. And, it's a lot. But to be accused of these things, it's taken a and have this false narrative of my son being in danger, when actually they're putting him in danger, and I'm trying to protect him, and to have that's been really mentally, that's been torture. It's been really difficult.
Regarding you said about the ambush there, so I just want to clarify, have you spoken to Loz or likes of Hayley Comet since, and have they replied or been willing to hear any side since we've brought it all back up?
I have sent messages to, the thing is, I've sent messages to Elle Warren, Laws and Hayley Comet, and that's not just because they have platforms. It's because they are the main people that stuck in my head. I am going to contact every person who has made in detail slanderous videos with incorrect information. I think if, it's from my private details, but if you're willing to post a video with incorrect information, you have to look at both sides. You've put yourself in my fucking business now, and I have to send you private information. I've sent people police reports where I was a minor getting arrested with nothing but 23 condoms. You know how incredibly humiliating this can be. I'm putting myself I've been through everything. 19 calls for DV on my police record. You know, in my relationships, not about me. Like that calls that I've made. You know, I've had a troubled life, and I just don't need these lies. I don't know how we put an end to it, mate.
Right, so what we'll do then, so if we kind of just start off with Katie then, so what we'll do, Els, if you just want to mute yourself up for a minute, we'll go through the Katie bit, and then we'll reiterate what we kind of went through last time with you, just so we can reiterate, and then we'll go through, obviously, what you sent me today, the main bits that you really want to cover in that order, yeah?
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, thank you.
No worries, no worries. So as I say, today is the conclusion of the Mum on the Run, Katie, Connie, Savannah, Claire, all the others that are involved. It's pretty much our conclusion over it on exactly what's what. So we're going to start off with Katie, which is in the top box here. Before we go on, as I say, Ellis, I will drop the whole chats between me and Claire at 10 o'clock. And it's as simple as that. I will go through absolutely everything. It might be really boring to listen to her voice because she's got a droning voice. But hey, it's got to be done because of what the woman's like. So Katie, correct me if I'm wrong in anything that I say here. Now, hi Kat, sorry, sweet. Now, Katie used to be Connie's next door neighbour, and a lot of stuff has happened during the time of being her neighbour. You was harassed, stalked, photos of your kids taken, your windows bricked. Your house was egged and kids were pretty much terrorised. Did you have a one night? You had a one night stand?
No, I was friends with her. I moved next door to Connie. We was friends at first. I moved next door and she was making my child dummy clips. I didn't know this woman. She knew my child's father, and she kept saying to my ex-partner who I was with at the time for me to go around. We was friends. We ended up having a falling out and made friends again. And then basically she started with a lie saying that I've had men in bed with my children, writing statuses, and just basically a lot of shit. 5 months after she wrote that status, after Claire messaging me, she'd messaged me saying, "Can the kids see each other again? He was amazing with my kids, with all kids," which I've got the screenshot. And then I don't know what's happened in that time. It was something to do with a kids' party. We'd had an argument, and she's gone from literally having eggs, bricks, paint at my windows and doors, harassing me, getting racial abuse shouted at my children, which they was going into school telling the teachers, which I've sent you proof of with that as well. Yeah. And it all started literally at the same time. The house was full of mold and damp. I was pregnant. I had all this going on. It was just a really, really rough time. For me. Once I'd give birth to my daughter, she'd made various accounts and messaged my ex-partner, which she still does now. Messaged my ex-partner saying that the child is a guy called Sadim Ali's or something like that.
Is it Connie messaging your ex-partner or Claire?
It would be Claire and Connie, all of them are at it. They're all in it together, and they're anti-Donna. They're a bunch of weirdos. So they was messaging him, making various different fake accounts, making Snapchats, TikToks of me. All sorts. But like I said, I'd never used TikTok until all this went on. But they was writing status saying I was hiding behind Ellis's account. I've never gone on Ellis's account in my life.
Right, okay. So obviously all this has gone on. So was it Claire's partner you had slept with around sometime when they
I know Claire's ex-partner since I was 10. I was friends with his stepsister for 10 years. And then apparently I've gone and had his kid, and she's posted my child all over her TikTok, even though she sits there and says she doesn't post other people's kids. So I've told her it's not her child, it's not her father's child.
So had you slept with him during this time at all?
No, not during the time, no.
Right. Okay, because obviously as
I was married. And like I said, I was going through a lot of hard time. I weren't barely sleeping. Never mind sleeping with people.
There has been points where we know that Claire has claimed, and Ian at points has claimed that he's obviously the baby's father, right? But as since recent events, as you sent me, he says that he generally don't know and that actually he could not be.
Basically it's bullshit. It is bullshit. Right. She's put some sort of edit on my child's face as well, and one of the pictures she's put on next to her son. It looks stuff. Anyone who knows me or knows my children knows what my kids look like. You can, my half Asian children are very white skinned. I'm white with blonde hair and blue eyes. She's got an obsession with my child, and it's weird.
Doesn't have Down syndrome, does it at all?
No, she's healthy. She's perfectly healthy. She was born at 35 weeks because they thought that she might have something like dwarfism or something because her legs wasn't growing properly. But
Yeah.
when they gave me my C-section at 35 weeks, she's been, you know, she's bounced, she's growing properly, she's flourishing, she's absolutely amazing.
Right, so Claire has since obviously put photos up. Listen, I know she's put photos up even right up until recently, was it yesterday or the day before, in comparison of the two children. Now, I want to state that Claire also did send me this in her part, exactly like the comparison of the two kids. So I just want to let you know that that was shared to me also by Claire.
This is what I'm saying. She's showing my pictures, what she's not had permission to take.
And
She's
this
even
is
gone on
what
my sister's account and stole my child's picture. She's got an obsession, my child, even if she was her child's father, which she isn't, even if she was, which has got nothing to do with you. She's got nothing to do with you or your family. She's not Ian's child. And like I said, you know what? If she was such Ian's child, where's the DNA? Come and do a DNA. I open it live on TikTok and state she's his child. So stop with the lies.
We're going to get into her obviously posting your child in just a second and that DNA, because we obviously have these receipts to show, which I will show them all in a sec, so you can just like go through what we've done so far. So I mean, so we've got like the DNA like results that you have shown us. I mean, we'll go through all of that. So let's have a little look. Without further ado, we'll have a look at the files. So obviously this is from Katie's side. Now, for those of you guys that might not have seen them beforehand, we do have YouTube videos over the last week up over there, which kind of concludes everything that you might be hearing now. If you want full-blown receipts of the whole thing, they are also on previous videos, and we'll also go through some receipts today. So this is obviously, Katie, this is like your little file we done for you, just so we could get everything pretty much in a more or less a timeline of what you wanted today. So let me just go up to here 1 second. So obviously the first one was, now this was Claire. So I just want to prove that Claire says she doesn't share or post photos of kids. So remember, we heard her say this in Loz's the other night. She had never once shared Alice's kids or any other kids, were her words the other night. That were her words. So Claire then posts this post, which I'm just going to show you so you can see it rather than me having to read it here. Right, so this was Claire's post. Oh, Katie, what's wrong? Am I proving you wrong? Why you just call Ian asking him why has he given me pictures of your child? Oops, have you just slipped up there? The pictures I was sent to me. I think that's meant to be that was sent to me from his phone. No, from his profile when his put up the status? Yeah, about him being the daddy. Why do Ian have pics of your baby? That is the question. But also, second of all, Claire, although why would Ian have pictures of the baby if he's unsure this baby is his, which I have heard with my own ears? The question is, with the fucking vile shit I did hear come out of this man's mouth last night. Now, listen, he could well be manipulated by you. I don't know. So I take his anger with a lot of frustration. So I don't jump to conclusions. However, you are actively posting still other people's children. Why are you posting other people's children still? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And so we have covered up the faces, and with Katie's permission, we have been allowed to show these. And as I say, we covered up faces. So this was Claire comparing kids. Yet again, this was Claire comparing them, isn't it? Right. That's Claire comparing. So you're still uploading other people's kids. Now that yellow circle is only there because we've wazzed that over the faces. Other than that, you're still putting up photos of other people's kids. What is wrong with you? What's going on? Why are you still putting up other people's kids? This was another post from you, Claire, where you was doing another comparison. This was all within the last 4 or 5 days, may I add. Another comparison that you was doing between two kids. Now, may I correct you? One kid is definitely Asian and one kid is definitely Down syndrome. They look completely different. They don't, in my opinion, they look nothing alike. Absolutely nothing. So this is again the comparisons that no, and that's not being a cunt, but I'm sorry, listen. If anyone compares anyone's normal child to someone who's severely Down syndrome, now while that's not an insult, it's not an insult. I don't think a lot of parents would be happy with that, and that's the truth of it. Here's just another one of you, Claire, 4 days ago, doing exactly the same thing again. Comparing babies, your child to someone else. Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you still now, as far as I'm aware, Katie, correct me if I'm wrong, have you ever given Claire permission to ever post
Never,
your child
ever,
on
ever.
social
She's
media?
also posted my 10-year-old daughter and my son on her TikTok as well.
So,
She's posted 3 of my children on her TikTok. I've never given permission in my
do
life.
you want
Why
to
would you want
explain
my
where she
children's
got these
pictures?
photos from?
Basically, Ian put a poster on saying that he was the dad of my child. That was months ago, and he never had any newborn photos of my child. She got that off my little sister profile. She's gone digging around my family members' pictures on Facebook to try and find pictures of this child. She has got an obsession, and it sounds funny to people, and it's really not. I'm really concerned that she's got an obsession with my 1-year-old daughter. She'll be sitting there on TikTok, and she keeps mentioning it. My child has got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you. Her mum's in the comments now stating that I sent it to Ian or some bullshit. I never even had that picture.
Right,
My
listen.
sister took that picture.
Even if you did, right, can we just point, even if you did send it to Ian, that does not give Claire any right to post a photo of that child.
No, she's got nothing to do with my children. What the hell has she got to do saying that my daughter's related, saying that I've called her child unspecified for things or whatever it says. Sorry, I'm mad, so I can't even speak properly.
No, I know what you
My
mean.
child is not your children's sister. She has got nothing to do with your children. She looks exactly like my 10-year-old daughter. The baby pictures, you can't even tell the difference. Even now, she looks nothing of your children. Stop obsessing over my child, Claire, and go and get mental help, love, because you really need it. I've got nothing to do with you. I've never called your daughter. You keep saying that I've called your daughter. Where's your black and white evidence? Where's your proof? Because it's never happened. You're going off word of say. You're telling people I've called your daughter. No, I haven't. Why are you lying? Where's your proof of it? You haven't got any. So stop with your lies. Sorry,
And can
Billy.
I just point out, what I have shown you there are just 3 snippets of just 3 incidences over the last 4 days. I do want to point out, Claire has posted this sort of stuff multiple times over the last couple of years. Now, just bear in mind, Claire did also, and as I've made it clear, Claire also sent me the comparison picture, and it's pretty much similar to this one here is what Claire sent me. I'm faceless. That's what Claire sent me, and I'm happy to prove that, as we will coming up 10 o'clock when we show the whole of
Look
Claire.
at all the naked pictures that they post of children as well.
Yeah.
It's not just, they've got an obsession with children and they gaslight and say that people sexualise children when it's them. I've pulled at least 15 posts off their multiple social media accounts, YouTube, Facebook and Instagram, public accounts with children fully naked on it, and even posts, anyway, I know you're going to get to it, but I'm just, interjecting there, so I'll mute again.
So obviously, Katie, so just to reiterate in the chat there, where's the messages between Katie and Ian? So what messages would Sylvia be referring to there?
I sent it you last night on WhatsApp.
Right.
The Facebook profile that he put on the DNA.
Play a voice note from last night from Ian. Can I play the video now of him saying that he doesn't know who the child's father is? He's not saying it's him at all.
Do you want to hear
Okay,
it?
so let me just get it. One sec.
Yes, please.
Go on, Els.
Okay, I've got it here now. Video. No, I can't do video. Okay, I'm playing it right now. Why's your girlfriend posting my children all over her socials?
Who's this telling?
Why is your girlfriend posting my children all over her social media?
It's me. Shut the fuck up. Who's coming?
He's my child's father, Ian. He's my child's father.
I don't have a clue, mate.
So why are you telling people it's your child then? Why's your girlfriend posting my child's picture?
Because she loves you.
Because she loves me. She's got... Right. So he doesn't know who the child's father is, and Claire's posting it because she loves Katie.
There you go.
There's another one I'd like to play just quickly. This is Ian, and this
Go
is
for
this morning. We were talking to him last night, and he's still in the chat now.
Go for it.
Because he's announced.
This is him talking about Claire's other kid's dad. So Claire's got 8 children, and Ian is the father to the last 2, and he's never had a proper relationship, even with the child that passed away. Claire has always dictated the relationship. They never had a good relationship, and Claire lied to her brothers and accused him of rape and beating her up to have her brothers drag him out the house. He was a different man before he met her and had them kids, and you can't have a conversation with him now, as you'll hear on this. He must have made over 150 threats to unalive us all last night in the group chat, and he's in a group chat with
This was going to be my next point. Did Claire not leave the kids with him last night or something?
Yesterday, yes, she did.
And Claire's also made multiple posts. Last time when I dropped screenshots of Ian saying that he would come to Thailand, Claire then posted that he was an abuser, and that's why. And now she's going to see him, and she's back together, and she's dressing up like Katie with her hair extensions and her fake eyelashes, and she's obsessing over Katie's child. And Ian kind of made it out on the phone. I don't know if we might have a recording of it. I think she thinks that she believes that Ian might get custody of Katie's child somehow, and I don't know, it's very bizarre. But she's got even if Katie's child was Ian's, which I believe Katie is not, the kid is Asian. I know Katie, she's got an English daughter to a guy that doesn't look far off Ian, and if it was his kid, it'd be blonde hair, blue-eyed. Katie is the palest, whitest girl you've ever seen in your life. She wears 58 bottles of fake tan a day. She's mental. She's so white, she's like me. So there's no way that the kid would be looking Asian if it wasn't. The child is Asian, and even if it was Ian's child, it's nothing to do with Claire. She doesn't have any rights over that child, or she can't see it or anything. And I think that's where the wires are crossed. And Claire's emotional because of the loss of her daughter. Her only daughter to Ian, and then she's thinking that I think maybe Ian might have said it to her in an argument. I don't know where this all came from, why they think the kid's Ian's, because it's clearly...
It's called Claire, obviously. I tried to get Ian on side to make this because there was... Connie got Nasser's number. She messaged Nasser and passed Nasser's number on to Ian. And Ian was fingered with his lies, which I've got screen recordings of that as well. They've made accounts, WhatsApps, pretending to be my ex-husband, saying that I faked DNAs and everything. Which is not Nasser. They've made telegrams of him.
So I will show later.
They've made telegrams of him. They've used WhatsApp.
Everything that doesn't fit the narrative. Everything that doesn't fit the narrative is fake, or it's just all bullshit. They can't accept the truth, and they never admit when they're wrong. And that's the thing. Sometimes they don't admit what they've done, and they don't admit they're wrong. When they get caught out, they hide from it. And because obviously there's things that can be proven here, that's why Claire's not here, and it's a shame because. Well, sorry, I'm going to mute anyway because it's not me.
From personal experience, I have to agree with you there. So far, and I've not seen next to no accountability. Every time I've asked the question, I say, listen, I get Ellis has done wrong, and Ellis knows what she's done wrong. But can you understand by you doing this would provoke this sort of reaction? And she sits there and goes, well, no, I don't understand it really because she's done this, she said this, she said that. And that's the only way she could scoot it. With her first shot of evidence, may I add, was a pile of crap that she presented to me. What they presented to me the second time round in that chat with the SM, it would have presented itself on Claire's side so much better. So Claire said that she was gonna go on to Loz's live the other night and show all the receipts. Well, they didn't show anything that they presented to me in that chat whatsoever. Which, yet again, we will go through later from Claire's part because that's on Claire's side. The box is very much open to Claire. Should she want to get in the box? I don't think she will. What's the next message I can see at the top of my screen from Claire? You threatened to post it, so I did it for you. If you use any of my personal info, I'll be taking legal proceedings. Well, good luck, bitch. What legal info am I going to be showing, Claire?
Just stop playing your games. This is what I mean now. Hang on a minute. Because this is a lot more... all right, Katie and that, but I'm in another country. I've had human trafficking organisations following me. I've had orphanages at my door. I've had my son checked by a fucking doctor that has not been sexually abused. No, this is a lot deeper than that, playing the victim card and running away from it now. No, what is that? Why does she do that? Why is it so she's a victim and, justice for my daughter? You're a bullshitter. This is ridiculous what you're talking about. Every opportunity you've had to confront this, you've ran from it, and I'm not. Oh, it's so frustrating.
And I will point out the other night, don't worry, I'll keep your composure, sweet. And I will point out the other night, listen, I know what you said wasn't right in retaliation to what you said in Loz's live. However, if anyone watched the other night, they would have seen Claire's and Loz's smirk, like on the pure gaslight, and they would have seen that at that time. Like, at that time of that live, they would have seen
First of all, yeah. What I said in that live were fucking bang out of order, but I keep getting ambushed at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm having to stay up all the time to do these lives, or I'm getting woke up by people ringing me. I'm in bed, and I'm having to get up. And
Can I just add as well? Sorry, Alice. Can I just add as well? I messaged that Loz myself.
Yep.
I wasn't horrible with her. It was nice. I sent you the thingy. And she said she's heard the way I speak to my children. The only thing I ever said on Telegram is what Claire called my children when she called them P-A-K-I-S, Sprogs. She's never heard me speak to my children, and neither has Claire. So I just wanted to clarify that as well. She said she wasn't interested in what I have to say. It only started from Claire jumping in Alice's inbox due to an argument on Facebook with me and Connie. Claire took it upon herself to message Alice in the first place.
So, after obviously all this happening where you live, Katie, you had to move, right?
I did.
You ended up having to move. Now, listen, I can read this out if I quickly actually send the actual document over. But this is sorry, it's a bit blurry because of the video where I've paused it. But it says basically says about Katie's issues, what's been happening, what's been going on with the neighbour, and it's a doctor explaining this stuff. This is a medical professional saying that basically the stuff that's going on, like the stuff that I mentioned to you earlier, like being harassed, like stalls, photos being taken, eggs, kids being tormented, and God knows what. This is pretty much what this medical letter is here. To help.
I was not evicted, and I've got proof I wasn't evicted.
And I presume you ended up straight in a new place from there, right?
Pardon?
And you ended up straight in a new place, obviously, from that.
Yeah. I moved due to the harassment. I wasn't evicted, and Mum just commented in the box. Sylvia, I don't know why you keep piping up. Connie has done nothing but slag you off. She classes Donna as a mum, not you. So I don't know why you keep popping up. You know exactly what your daughter's like. So stop with your lies.
Calm down, babe. Calm down, babe. Sylvia, listen, Sylvia, you're always trolling. Please, would you get in the box and let's have this out as grown adults? All this
you know my dad, Jasper, very well. You know the doorman, his security guard, love. You know him very well. You know exactly what your daughter's about, Connie. And so does your full family. So pipe down. I was not evicted, and I got proof of that.
Sylvia got in our box the other day
in the box and show you evidence. Let's have this out like adults. There's no need for all the hiding and trolling. Like everybody from me from tomorrow is getting blocked. So I'm not doing it anymore. This is toxic. It's horrible. Anyway, I am muting. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Like we say, opinions are absolutely welcome in the chat. Just be respectful with them and words in the right way. Don't be putting threats at each other, and you'll be absolutely fine as you are. You'll be absolutely fine as you are. But this was just a bit just to prove it did come.
Carry on, Katie, anyway.
Sorry, Katie, yes. So you ended up obviously moving to a new gaff. Have you had any, apart from the online shit about posting your child?
They contacted my my abuser, my ex, who had an harassment order on him for 5 years. Got my address, which I've got a video. They've posted my new address all over prostitute websites. I've had multiple men knocking on my door for sex, which obviously I've rang the police. It's all fingered down with the police, but because the men, it's been advertised for my address, the men are not really breaking any law because they're coming for one thing. God, should I carry on? There's that much that they've done to me and my kids. And they keep going now. I've moved out in 2023. What are you trying to get at? You're stalking and harassing me, and you sat there playing victim. Connie trips over her own lies. She says my house was so dirty that I didn't let anyone pass my doorstep. And then she turns around in another note, which Claire's gone on live, saying I had different men in my house every night, and one got in bed with my child. At first it was my 2-year-old daughter, and then it was my 6-year-old daughter. You lies. You're lying.
And then she also sent me some photos after this with this, I think it's this cupboard door open with a load of shit pushed inside as well. But this was the photos that was sent to me by Claire. This is what Claire has said to me, that this is the state that the house was left in. This is what Claire said. So it's just, that was the original, and then obviously that, and then There was these as well.
Yeah, she tried to say that I lived in that house. She tried to say we're still living in that. That's what she put on her Facebook, along with photos in the comments of my children again.
Katie's admitted that she fled that house because she almost had a mental breakdown when she was pregnant. They were messaging her pretending to be a 14-year-old, saying her husband had I-worded them, and they were next door to her, giggling through the fucking walls while she were really having a hard time. She felt like she weren't comfortable in her house, out of her house. The kids were being abused in the streets. It was an horrible time, and when if she hadn't moved, honestly, I dread to think about it because she was locked off there.
Right, this is when they did shit to your house and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's repeatedly. It was every single day I was waking up to something.
Oh, the eggshells and shit.
And can I just think, Connie's children was in my house on a day-to-day basis. If they didn't come round one day, she'd send me videos of her kids crying to come to my house. But I am such this abuser and such a paedophile what they're accusing me of.
Yeah.
She does lie. And she refuses to come to anywhere where evidence is presented, and she manipulates people like, I didn't realise this, because my biggest flaw is I don't watch videos about myself. So I call people out for making videos, but I actually don't know the contents of the video, and I just call everybody out for like mentioning my son, because I know it's lies, but when I actually have sat and spoke to people, they're like, Ellis, you've not proved anything for years. Like, people don't really know. They've only known me fighting and being aggressive for a long time on the app. So I do need to go back into
the DNA that I said I thought I would show. This is Katie, this is yours, right? This is DNA that, just so everyone can see it, because I did say I will show it.
Yeah, what she tried to say was a fake DNA. She's put it all over TikTok that it's a fake DNA. Now, I can understand a fake DNA coming back that it's not the child's father. The first one was done without my permission. I was never swabbed. Now, any DNA company get advised you to swab the mother as well as the child. I was never seeing my child get swabbed for the first one. The second one we all did together. We had his family members and my own family members and the Moss man sat in the same room, and that's the one that come back. It was positive, so it wasn't fake at all. So stop with your more lies saying it's a fake DNA. It's a proper company. Give them a call up if you want. They don't do fake DNAs.
And this was your actual thing, right?
Yes.
So that's just so, for you guys that would like it, probability of paternity for child is 99.99999%. Hence, the alleged father cannot be excluded of the child. The DNA results are 1, 2, 3 trillion times more likely if the father is rather than the unrelated, of the child.
How
it is
99% audacity to say that a DNA test is fake.
Because they've made WhatsApp accounts using NASA's name, saying, pretending to be NASA, that I've done fake DNAs. That's what
a DNA company.
Yeah, but that's
this is what I mean about
WhatsApp with NASA's name on it and my child's picture, pretending to be NASA. Because of that weird.
There's people actually enabling. There's people enabling this mental behaviour. It's terrifying. It's bizarre. It's weird.
Can we just point out, because we're on the subject of the DNA test, did Claire post or show a child's DNA test?
She did.
That wasn't hers. Right, so now I'm glad you said that. So I just want to point out, Claire, for you doing that, it is actually generally considered illegal to show a child's DNA test results without the proper consent from a parent or legal guardian without the parental responsibility. So what you have done there is, while you're claiming other people have broke the law, you've also broke the law posting someone else's child without their permission. I want to add.
She doesn't care.
So there are 2 laws you have broken. And may I add, like, the pictures that you have ever seen me show on this channel, the same with Ellis, the same with Kate, we only ever ask for permission. And if they say do not show something, we do not show it regarding anything, because we don't do kids or stuff like that in that aspect. We have only shown things that these parents have allowed us to and what they want out there. So I do want to state, Claire, that's 2 laws you broke there, just alone. That's just alone. That's 2 little lies. So you're now posting someone else's kid that isn't yours against the law because you don't have the parents' permission. And now you're posting a child's DNA test results and you don't have proper consent from Katie or the dad, do you? Or the alleged dad, shall I say.
No,
So
not got my permission. She's never had my permission to share such a personal document of my daughter or share any pictures of my children. May I add, it's not just one child that she's posted all over her socials. It's 2 of my daughters and my son.
right,
I put a video on of my
kids
son
in
and I
total
scribbled his
so
face
far.
out on Telegram, what I sent to Ellis. I didn't know how to use this Telegram. Ellis told me to download it. I scribbled his face out, and that's my 7-year-old son. It will tell you himself. All my children will of exactly what that Connie's done. They've seen it with their own eyes. They used to go to school. He used to wet bed every night over it. We was all sleeping in one room because I was having bricks at my windows and everything else.
Yeah. What's that? She got a DNA test from the dad, so wouldn't that mean she had permission? Well,
She didn't get no DNA from the dad at all.
I'm gonna say that's the issue, isn't it? She didn't actually get any DNA from the dad at all. Allegedly, sorry, I'm going to put it that way because obviously, like, I'm no judge and jury. I'm just here to present both sides or all
They
sides.
just keep making assumptions. That's all they do. It's like, oh, we've been caught out on that. What else can we think of? Like, what's the next stretch? And it's like, come on, love, just admit where you're wrong. Like that, the gaslighting is insane.
I've called the police plenty of times. I rang him back yesterday as well once I've known that she's posted this DNA of my child all over. I am waiting for an officer to ring me today about it. It is severe stalking and harassment. The head teacher had to bring my children home a few weeks ago because she put a page on of my 10-year-old daughter saying that I was selling her to paedophiles and a paedophile ring and saying save Sarah all over it with, again, my 10-year-old's pictures all over it.
So someone's asked the question here, so where did Claire originally get that other test from? Is it a picture that was sent or posted?
No, when all this was going on, I posted it on my own Facebook, which I sent you to prove it because it was all chatting shit. So, but another thing, when they broke into my house, when I left the house, there was a laptop left in that house. So I don't know if she would have got it from an email neither. So we're not quite certain with that one.
Like, so you don't know where she actually obtained
No.
it?
No, but she never had my permission, and I never sent it her, and Nasser never sent it. And Nasser knows exactly what Claire's about, and Connie, and he can't stand them.
Right, okie dokie. Right, so obviously they've still been going on. They posted. Well, she's posted. Let's say, or they, whatever way you want to look at it, has posted 3 photos of your child. I know they've reposted Ellis's child. Now I know a lot of people say Connie did not share photos of Ellis's child. Our messages between me and Connie say different about 4 times in 2 different chats. I do want to just point that out there. Again, we'll go through Claire's side, the full chats later on.
Claire posted Cairo, the naked image of Cairo, on her account. We've already been through this before. We've posted it.
Well,
the images that they're all everybody knows about.
Yeah. So even if she didn't upload it to TikTok herself, now we all know a repost, a share is all in the name. It's all in the name of what you're doing. A repost. You're reposting what someone else has put up. So you are forwarding that post to your people. And it is as simple as that fact. You're sharing a post. You're sharing it to a select few people. You're still sharing and posting. So unfortunately, you still fall in that category.
She's involved in all of the group of when it escalated for me when I went to Bali. Like, she's been heavily involved. Those messages, she keeps changing the dates as well. The screenshots of, was it yesterday or something, they're saying something about February 2024, Bonnie's anniversary, but I've already shown the messages that it was February when it started, February the 5th, whenever it was, 21st and 22nd, and the screenshots show that. And when I messaged a brother at the same time as well, it's all lies, everything's lies, and then backtracking and then finding something else. The truth never comes out. It's all just a story, just a narrative, oh well this, oh well that, oh well, just get to a point.
So Claire claims to me that Connie hasn't been involved for a long time. Is that true?
No, it's not true. She's still on it. She's been bloody messaging my ex, and she's the one who got Ian and Nasser speaking with a lie. When my kid was a few weeks old, I sent you the screenshot before. They'd got another, they used a girl called Becky Gray's picture and was WhatsApping him saying that it was her brother and that I'd done a DNA with her brother. She's involved in it all. She's pulling all the pictures and screenshots out and sending it to Claire.
So Becky Gray, the picture that they used, that's my follower, and this is what I mean. They've been attacking my followers, and they've been going through my followers. They tried to get her address, they text her threats, they text her address. They like she used to sell stuff on Facebook, and they tried to get her address and threaten her. Like, they did all sorts just because she was my friend on TikTok. I've never tried to silence any of them or stop them speaking. I've never even reported the posts or anything until recently.
Right. So you're saying Connie is still there behind the scenes, just
Connie's one of the main ones. Connie and Claire. Connie's just as bad as Claire. She just hiding. They posted a video of hiding behind a mask with the auntie saying say pedo and pretending to be Ellis. Connie's there in the background saying say pedo. That was posted last week.
Right.
She's involved in it all. They hide behind disabled children.
Claire posted last week that Connie has assaulted me and found me selling myself to her partner, who was, I don't know, he's in jail now. He's about 50. His daughter's just had a kid. But he were about 30 odd at the time. He'd just got out of jail then. Actually, I remember a bit more now. And she wasn't there at all. They was already separated. Connie, as soon as they said that, I knew that was provable by law documents. Like, I've got my police SAR. So I was like, just get a subject access request and prove it. Then I even did the letter for them and posted it in the Telegram and said, send that to police and they'll send it to you and prove that you've assaulted me and you've been arrested for it. It's some barefaced lies, more lies. She posted the other day, I'm jealous.
She said it was Chunk's child and had a black child. She tried to say it was Chunk, and she's put him on the birth certificate. That's why
she did. When I was at the house, he was like, I can't believe she's put me on the birth certificate. I was there because they were going through the breakup. But there's another girl that he went with that I didn't. So my friend who's here now in Thailand, Lee, who I was with the other day, he's like my older sister's friend and he knows everybody. So he said, oh, that Connie, when she were with Chunk then and they've split up, she's tied a girl up, another girl who's been with Chunk, and she's like cut all her hair off and stuff. She's mental. And then her other baby dad, she accused him of raping a 16-year-old, and her mate Zoe ran through his door and put a
Zoe's a brother's kid's mum. A heroin user. That's Zoe's Ellis. No, that Jimmy, her brother, has got kids that Zoe is a heroin user. She just got out of jail a couple of years ago for putting a knife to a 1-year-old and running through the house because of Connie.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
and this is the people that they are. There's also images of Connie's child in a lead across dressers' arms, and they talk about me sexualising my child or children. I don't. I'm concerned about your behaviours, the posts that you make about my child, the conversations they've had about my child sexually, the allegations they make with no proof. It's disgusting. It's horrific. And to be one person on my own, I tried to make group chats for support. They shut me down. I've even posted in the Thailand expat group, and they've commented all over it, calling me all of these offensive slanders, and I've had to delete my post and not get. I'm a single parent in another country. Sometimes I need advice. You can't do things like that. I need to be able to help myself and be proactive. Otherwise things like bills might not get paid or advice. I need information. I need to be able to help myself.
Well, this is the thing. So, in regards to, I want to make a statement. So, Claire said the other night. So she believes, Ellis, in the way that you talk and the way that you act around your child, and she believes you to be a pedalo or have pedalo tendencies. What would your reply be to that?
I think you have got no evidence to suggest that. You've never seen anything of me around my child other than me taking care of my child. He's only in, he's been in clips. I've done the odd live with him. I don't really feature him do lives with him or anything for her to have made a judgment like that. I don't have men around me or drink or go out and spend time with men or anything. I do a bit of domination every now and again. And that's not anything to do with sex. That's the opposite. It's depraved. It's punishment. It's the complete opposite. And it's not a regular thing that I do. It's something that I'm involved in now and again. It's more of a hobby, if anything. But the reason that I have had to go to the extent I like resharing photos, I don't want these photos on my phone, sweetheart. I didn't welcome Connie sending me the images of a child on the bed or seeing all these things sent to me.
What they accused me of doing, even I've got the screenshot of Connie sending it, yeah? Can I just add that on?
But I'm shocked at like what I saw on like the Instagram the other day sent me over after seeing Claire's, after the babysitting the shit and the house conditions and all of that, and then the naked picture. Then they've shared loads of images of my child my child was being changed his bottom on the toilet, and my ex is, and now they're lying saying I was on live and that's how they've got the image, because they continue to change the effing goalposts. No, I was changing my son's bum on the toilet and my ex was recording a video for whatever reason, and that was in the video, and he screenshotted it and posted it in a group chat to try to say I was showering my child. I wasn't, but there is an image of Connie's kid down with its head down the toilet. There is images which, you're going to have to find a way to show these images, all those images, because I've had Claire's YouTube account removed just by making one report about a video of her undressing her disabled daughter on camera. That's not me sexualising a child. That's me making you aware of the dangers on the internet. And if you don't know them, it's even more concerning that you're posting my child indecently. I do not want Cairo on the internet, and the reasons that you have said that he's been posted are not true. You posted the image of him at the hotel where you had... Now, even getting into this human trafficking thing is just bizarre, because I still don't have any proper information about it, and the fact that you all know and nobody's willing to give me the information I need to safeguard my child makes me fucking actually quite unwell.
That's even more concerning that a stranger is doing.
It's such a traumatic conversation for me, because I'm being mugged. My abusers are watching me, explain that I still don't know. They've gaslit the situation. They're hiding behind accounts, telling me I know who's behind the account. I know what they've done. I know who took those pictures. Listen, if I fucking knew who took those pictures, they wouldn't be here to tell the fucking tale. How dare you share images of my child naked with his mum being supervised, swimming at the pool, and spin that, and you've manipulated innocent, unbeknowing people on this app into a false sense of danger for the child, and they've shared those images, which are inappropriate images, and they are actually innocent images. It's me at my hotel with my child. But if you said to people that so what you're trying to say is that you've not given a horrific tale of what was going on at that hotel. What you're trying to say, you won't actually tell me what you've said or post the emails of how you've managed to persuade this human trafficking organisation to attend my hotel and surveil Cairo and I. But my imagination is that you've obviously said is at severe risk then and there, and that's why they've immediately attended. And that's what his email response gives indication
of the worst case scenario. That is exactly how they would put it, to be the most obscene.
The emails that we've got, have you got them? The one with the pictures on where it's blacked out. The first email, the top one is the pictures, and then their response is her son is in danger with her. When were the images taken? And so that's a response to receiving the images, and even that's like, whatever he's been told, he's came and took those images, and that obviously wasn't happening. These images shouldn't have been forwarded to that person when this person has realised that the allegation was untrue, but maybe they needed to do more investigation.
Please.
I didn't know anybody was there or taking images of me. Nobody tried to speak to me, and if they did, I'm always forthcoming. I'll speak to anybody about this. I'm fucking desperate to prove my innocence and be vindicated, but nobody approached me. And then they're trying to say that they've contacted a human trafficking organisation when I've run a story to remove Cairo from social media because they've kept posting him on the toilet picture. So I've done the orphanage story, and they've contacted the human trafficking organisation and said, okay, hi, I'm such a person off TikTok and I follow Mum on the Run, and she's posted a video today saying her son's in an orphanage. She's staying at this hotel. I found out she's at the hotel by screenshotting a video, putting it into Google and stalking her address, and then posting it into a public group with hundreds of people to cause fear and alarm into her life. I've then made multiple false reports about her, and I'm contacting you to please go around to her hotel, take pictures of her and her son and send them to me so I can make a TikTok video and prove that her son is not in an orphanage. And this person has responded and said, yes, I'll go there right now. Just give me a minute and I'll send you 3 images of that child naked by the pool. Are you having me on? That is not how it went. That is not the conversation. You didn't say that. It's not how it went. You raised false concern of alarm. That's why you said, what reason did you even have for the emails stating Kyra was in danger? What reason did you have to believe that? Because I protected him by removing him from social media because people were sharing an image of him on the toilet.
Yeah, which I've seen. So this goes to show, right, they've targeted a couple of children now. So they've targeted a couple of Katie's children. They've targeted your child. Because, Katie, you got a letter from, well, was it the council to the school, was it? Just like supporting things.
Yeah, the school, basically the children have got into the school and obviously they've been upset about it every day. They're not sleeping and they've seen Connie do what she was doing. They was waking up to like this every morning just as much as me. We was all sleeping in one room. The house conditions itself was full of mould and damp. And then obviously was waking up with bricks, eggs, paint at the front door. You name it, I got it.
Which the bricks and paint, like we do have, you did send us some videos of that, which I think showed like a little bit of this, which was these three here. Which is like this one.
Yeah, there was a lot more, but obviously I've not got that phone. I can dig into it more. But, you know, like I said, I'm sick of speaking about it. And then every day they've put something else on TikTok about my children. You can say what you want about me. I'm not bothered. I'm 31 years old. I don't care, but keep my kids out of it. They don't need to be involved in your little weird obsession that you've got going on.
So, Katie, as in your, like, let's say if, like, you could say anything to Claire right now, anything you wanted regarding this whole situation, because obviously LSN came into it from obviously a Facebook argument, right? Like a status thing. So what would you say to Claire as like your final stance on everything, like regarding
please, Claire, if you're listening, and I know you're going to listen, and I know you're going to get it sent to you, please leave my children alone. If you want to see me woman to woman, I'm more than down for that. But you don't need to keep bringing my children into it. They're innocent little children. They don't need to. They've had enough of it of your sister. Enough abuse of living in that house. You can believe what you want to believe, your sister. That's fine by me. But please keep your children, my children, out of it. I've got no involvement in your children. I've never called your daughter. You keep saying that I've made remarks about your daughter. Where's your proof? Where's your evidence? You haven't got any. It never happened.
I mean,
and that's all I want to say. Just keep my kids. Just please leave my kids alone. That's what I'm begging. My children. They don't need to. Buddy, they're going to school. What about if one of the parents sees it and then it gets back to my children? They'll get bullied for the lies what they make up. If my child was great, like they're trying to state, why has my children not been taken off me? I'm sat here. I'm 26 weeks pregnant, and she was on about get condoms. I had the coil fitted when I got pregnant with this child. Accidents happen. I didn't have an abortion. I've kept the child or whatever. It's got nothing to do with you. My children have got absolutely nothing to do with you. I did use protection. Like I said, I had the coil. I didn't want any more children, but it's happened. So yeah, I will raise the baby just like I raised my other children. They're not neglected. They're not abused. Stop with your bullshit and your lies. That's all. Just keep the children out of it.
Can we unmute Karma, please? Sorry. I've unmuted. I've had to unmute a couple of her accounts so far. Can we unmute Karma? Thank you. Sorry, Katie. Carry on.
No, that's it. Like I said, whatever you've got with me, come and see me face to face. My sister even messaged you. She blocks people like my family members. She'll block him. Come and see me or my sisters. I've got plenty of them. I've got 9 sisters. I've got a mother. I've got a big family. I've got plenty of cousins. At least come and see one of us face to face and fight it out like a woman instead of hiding behind children. But you won't do, will you? Because you want to sit there on TikTok and play victim when you're far from it. If anyone's NONCE, it's you, Claire, for posting my children and Ellis's children all over social medias. And you've not just done it to me and Ellis, you've done it to plenty of others. You was targeting an 18-year-old girl called Alicia as well, wasn't you? You target kids. You need help. My child is not going to bring your dead child back. So please go away and leave me alone.
Well, hopefully she will. I mean, I've got a funny feeling that she won't. Sorry, just a quick thing to the mods. Please don't mute Karma at the moment because Karma we're kind of doing things with, because there's a lot going on at the moment. I can see your comments coming through, Pex. We got a lot going on, and there's regarding two sides to that as well. Well, there's more than two sides, but we've got some stuff going on with them. So then, Ellis, obviously you came into the equation regarding them Facebook posts where you were sticking up for Katie, yeah? And then obviously it all extended for you, Claire, and Connie ever since then. So the bits the bits we're going to go through today is just to like reiterate and catch up to where we're at, which is the bits that obviously you sent me, because a lot of it we've already got up. But like, so we're going to go through the first one, obviously, where it just explains like from in your papers like what's wrong, what you've been through roughly. So it just says, from what I have read, Miss Matthews' psychological difficulties are severe and disabling. The records show that she had appalling care in her family of origin and in local authority care. She was physically, emotionally, you know what, and neglected. She was subjected grossly fractured care through multiple placements due to her formative, I think that's meant to like cares, is it? Experiences, sorry. Her attachments and she's insecure. I would expect her self-esteem to be low and for her to see herself as essentially unlovable. I would expect her to have great difficulty in trusting others or in expecting and believing that they will be, what's that one? Benign and caring, is that? I would expect her to be wary, withdrawn, antagonistic as a way of protecting herself from what she expects to be a volatile world, basically. Personality disorders associated with an insecure attachment style, Miss Matthews' emotional EUPD, is rooted in her history of neglect. Because she is unstable to manage her feelings well, because she has minimal trust in others and because she feels grossly wronged by authority figures and systems. She has a sense of entitlement and engages through demands and expectations rather than negotiation or compromise. Miss Matthew has particular difficulty with those that she sees as authority because of her experiences of neglect and by an authority figure. Miss Matthews is vulnerable to stress and when she is disturbed or upset by something because of her EUPD, she is likely to react with emotional and behavioural extremes. So that just gives you a little bit of a backside. That is like a legal paper there. Like this, me and Chloe have thoroughly checked over time and time again. Like we have deep-throated this. Now, this might seem a bit fuzzy to you purely because it's just in video format at the moment, but we have got the unblurred versions, but that's what it says. So that just gives you a little bit of a background. Ellis has always been known to be a very feisty person, with or without social media, or with or without regard. She's always been a feisty person due to what she's been through, right? Because let's be honest, if you've been through any of that shit to that extent with any of the system, none of you are going to be trusted. I mean, I don't care what you say later in life, it just would not happen. So I totally understand it. So the next one, obviously, Alice, you want to talk about because Claire stated that you had done this stuff to your child, that you'd burnt them with spoons and done all this stuff. So the next one is just a bit where it explains why they were taken. So I don't know if you can see that. The children came to the attention of the court through a private law application by Miss Matthews against when he refused to return Amal to her care. She had left Amal with him to go on holiday with her partner, Mr. Parry, during those proceedings. A Section 7 report was prepared, which led the court to direct of its own motion a Section 37 report and to make interim care orders. Initially, Blackburn and Darwin Borough Council did not wish to issue proceedings and were of the view that Oscar would safely remain in the care of his mother. So do you want to just go through that bit there, Els, like in regards to what they've been claiming and like what they've been saying?
Sorry, I was lighting my joint then, and can you just put it on again?
Sorry, so
I forgot where we're up to.
So it's about the children paying attention.
Right, so this is when my children went to live. Where basically, this is Well, what happened? I've I've said for sorry, I'm going to have to mute for a second.
No, it's
This is
all right.
basically I started a court case against my son's dad. Nobody came and took my children off me, or there were none of the allegations they make were involved.
So the claims that they're stating, big up for muting. But when you come back and when you can unmute, don't just unmute if you don't have to. But like, so the claims they've made is obviously you have put your child in harm. You burnt him with a spoon. You exploited it. You was doing class A's and stuff like that. Well, that just shows that the actual reports were fine of like the claims he's been
Actually, I'm going to be going into lots of things on my page now. I've got things from my police record. I've got things from other reports as well. I'm looking for the actual social services reports, but I've got like because I obviously they're sent to the solicitors, but I've got all the things from the solicitors, the statements, the CAFCAS. I've got the nursery's appeal. I've got loads of stuff to be going on with in my police records as well that back things up where
definitely
I was
got a load
accused
of
of things.
stuff, right? You've definitely got a load
Yeah.
of stuff. Like that's just to say the least. Like
Yeah, yeah.
she has a lot.
I've got emails going back to 2016 because that's actually, I lost custody of my kids in 2017, but all of the end of 2015 and 2016, I was helping my partner fight for his child. So I've got all of that as well. That's why we did all these extra assessments, and I literally, we did so many things. We did alcohol, everything they accused us of. You've seen what I'm like. I'm a dog with a bone. If I can prove something's not true, I will go to the end of the earth to do it.
Yes. And I mean, and we have definitely seen that without fail, right? Like, listen, you're just doing what any mother would do. Okay, to a lot of people, right, it would be to a lot of extremes in some cases, but I understand in your like in your head, it's either fight or flight. There's no in between. There's no middle ground. It's one way or the other, and that's kind of how you've always been, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So regarding this was then the email that was written after that. So it's saying I'm writing this appeal in relation to the review of Child Protection Conference, which was held on the 20th of July 2016 at Hancock Street Children's Centre, Blackburn. I'm entering this appeal on the backgrounds. I'm entering this appeal on the backgrounds of that I feel as if though the wrong decision has been made in relation to the child being made subject to a child protection plan. Also, that the plan is not in the best interest of the child. I would also like to question why the child hasn't been given a child protection conference in their local authority. They moved into Blackburn area on 19th of February 2016. It is stated on the Lancashire Safeguarding Children Board that receiving local authorities should convene a child protection conference within 15 working days of being notified of the move. A handover conference was booked in to change over the authorities on the 23rd of June 16. However, this didn't go ahead and another handover conference had taken place. So part two of that is this bit. The family have independently completed a range of courses as these were not put forward to them by the Children's Social Care. The course, which have been sourced, funded and completed by the family are Inspire, DRUG Team, Freedom Project, Domestic V, Awareness for Males, Positive Parenting and Couples Therapy. Fucking hell. Of these courses, some are complete with some of the family, and they've chosen to continue adding their own and the family's benefit. I believe the family have also requested to have measures put into place to monitor any alcohol or rug intake, as this is a concern that keeps arising during meetings. However, this can't be done without being requested from social care. During the conference meeting, it was messaged that other professionals vote, and then the case would be managed if the child would need a plan. To which the family were pleased with. It was explained to them should there be any incidences, and the case would go straight to pre-proceedings. A discussion was held regarding the previous police reports about a neighbour on the streets and not directly connected to the family. The family explained that this neighbour has since been evicted from a property, so there would be no reason to involve. I mean, I don't know if you want to wade in there, Ellis. Just tell me if you want to wade in anywhere and I'll stop.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So obviously we got to the would not yeah. So the property would not be a reason to involve police in future. It was then after this discussion that the social worker mentioned a report which had been received by the health and the recommendation on there. The report considered of positives around the family, however, at the end stated that they would vote, however, to keep the children on a child protection plan, however, depending upon the information from the other professionals within the meeting. That should depend on the outcome. These meant that votes was 2 for, 2 against. At this point, Miss Matthews' mum began to speak her opinion and was told by the IRO that that her vote didn't matter. Miss Matthews then went on to say that it was an opinion and commented on how she had been told that her opinion mattered within the meetings. This was shut down by the IRO by telling Miss Matthews to stop talking. The categories were then discussed between the IRO and the social worker, to which Miss Taylor, unborn's dad, overheard them mention physical harm. He began to question this and was told that it isn't his concern, so myself as professionals queried this, and also to keep the situation calm, and both parents at this time had become deeply distressed. When I asked about the physical harm, when I asked why physical harm was on the plan, I was told because of history. I then read out criteria for physical harm of the issued paperwork for the meeting. I asked if Amma had ever been subject to that, and the response I received was then the category will only be emotional.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes to show what they're like. They bully people. They didn't give me a chance to speak. They told me to shut up when I asked for information. The woman had a very strong African accent. I didn't have a clue what she was saying half the time. And they were very rude to me. And if it wasn't for people actually seeing that I was a proactive parent, I would have been bullied into staying on a child protection plan wrongfully and then potentially losing custody of my children. And this is what they do to people. It's disgusting.
So they've been using all this against in this time. Well, it's not because to be honest, most
Basically, I've just never showed this. I've never showed these. Sorry, this is the first time this content's ever been shown as you posting it now. I've sent it to a couple of people since I've found it, but I've not actually posted it online. I've posted a couple of clips in the videos I've posted, but I wanted to give, an opportunity to do this live first and not give the opposition a chance to tell lies and to squash some of the lies. I first came on TikTok to talk about my childhood and social services, and I went through all this shit then, but obviously since I've left the UK, I've been fighting for my life. I've been in survival mode. I've had financial difficulties. I've had problem after problem in my life because of this. It's beyond just attacking me and attacking Katie. It's everybody we're associated with. So I've not had time to really, or mental capacity to go and look at, reports. There's reports in there, information about myself that's difficult to read as well. There's not all of it's positive. Social services like to write a fucking report, and I'll be sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly because I am a very honest person, and they are devious worms. Besides, but I've been injusticed by social services my entire life, and they make my skin crawl. But I've not always been completely unwilling to comply, but due to these experiences, once my son's dad did take my children and I was in a position of being in court and I turned around and a social worker would walk through it, I did lose my fucking mind and I refused to speak to anybody and the judge actually said, I agree that she should never have to see a social worker again after what I know she's been through. They knew that. Social workers drove me to houses where I was abused and saw other people be abused. I shouldn't have to see one ever again. When I was kidnapped off a street in Chorley at 10 years old, which is in my police disclosure, I saw it before, actually, and even the police twisted it somehow to be my fault, how a man kidnapped me off the street. The fact that I'd asked him for a cigarette was the reason why he kidnapped me. Well, yeah, it might have been, but it's still not my fault.
So
but anyway,
regarding social services, yeah, because obviously we know like all the things you have been through and that. Would it be fair to say, listen, you have a bit of an attitude with these people purely because, listen, these should have been the ones
they are
protected you, but they never did, right? So obviously you ended up suing them all and all this, like the social services. And am I correct in believing they never ever contested anything you said?
That's right. They didn't contest it, and I did get a letter of apology. What was in there, and it was very rude. I don't have it actually. I fucking threw it away as soon as I got it. But I refused to accept any amount of money until they agreed to write me a letter of apology because honestly, I try and act like I'm alright, but I will never recover from the childhood that I had, and that's the truth. I won't, and all these added stresses just make me iller and prevent my progress even longer because my childhood was mad. And now this is mad.
You've had a rough childhood compared to these fuckers, right? 100%.
I've lived the life of, I can't explain it. Yeah, I've just lived a very outside, fight for everything, didn't have nothing growing up, no food, no clothes, nothing, had to fight for everything in my mum's. I was drugged, I was abused, I witnessed abuse, I was terrorised, and then when I'd run away from kids' homes, people were getting groomed, and I was friends with Charlene Downs, who got murdered. It was terrifying trying to survive in the life that I was. My dad was a violent heroin addict that injected me with heroin, tried to kill me. I got hung off a lorry driver. Like, I've had mad experiences and near-death experiences every other day of my life, and it's just all this shit now, like being, separated from my son, the constant threats, the threats to his life, like, it's heavy. It's heavy, all this just for defending my mate. That's all I did. I warned Claire enough times not to mention kids. I am ruthless, I don't care, I will do it when she's mentioned it, but just leave people alone. The horrible bullies, and this how far they go. And, people have got real, your kid's dead. You've got healing to do. I've had a traumatic life. I'm on the run with my kid. I've got shit to be worrying about other than if you're making a slanderous post with my kid naked on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? It's so draining. For the past at least 2 weeks, I don't know about them fuckers, but I am waking up to this shit and it's going on all the time and it's too much. The more I've tried to do, and when I try to say I'm moving on now, she starts doing lives and getting people talking shit and making videos about me, and then when I say, right, you know what, I'm going to do more digging and get more information and then do a live, and then she avoids it and doesn't come, and fucking, it's so narcissistic.
Right, so then this is just another report that obviously you sent us. For you guys, it may be a little bit blurry on the screen.
This is this is when I left the UK. This is when my son was put on a child protection plan, and this is what I've posted in Telegram, and they've screenshotted it and posted it to say, look, she was on drugs, she was mentally ill, she was this and that. No, when I left the UK, because false allegations have been made about me, I've already said it was that I was injecting drugs, that I was in a domestic abusive relationship, and that I was mentally unstable. I also told you the police come to my house multiple times. That says it on there. The police came on the something 14th and the something else, and I left the country on the 3rd of June, so all this was after that, and this was all false reports. This child protection plan was held in my absence because there isn't really, that little child protection that I was on for one fucking 3-month thing with my kids wasn't a big, there's no big record of me when you put my name into social services because I didn't have a big involvement with my kids. Because I was fighting for my boyfriend's daughter the whole time, obviously we were doing that. Do you know what I mean? So I had him around me, but I didn't have a big involvement. So this, they've twisted it to say, but the ones that you post after this, it all explains it. So this is NSPCC and the police.
I was going to say, the NSPCC, that they had reports and information that you had been posting online about being pregnant. They reached a referral to NSPCC. And then this was the next one follows on from that bit, which I'm going to have to zoom in here. So basically, suspect has been given leave via the emails and has made allegations about the victim. I have since received further emails from the suspect saying she's in Cyprus and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is after I left England and they was accusing me of threatening to grape the kids. They said that I was doing stuff to their houses. How can I do out to your house in another country? They said all sorts, and like I've said, the police were coming to arrest me and I didn't even know what... and then the police officer was speaking to me and seeing what I was saying and understood. Now, this is not Claire, by the way. This is not Claire. This is just the start of it when I left the UK because of false reports. I was in a dispute with a group of girls on TikTok, and when you know, I've moved on from that. Then Claire and, well, Savannah's picked it up and Claire's joined her, and that's how it's all started again. Because of my initial story or even like that. But yeah, so this just proves that what they said is lies, and that obviously the false reports, and that I was reporting it to the police then, and they're just trying to say, like, obviously child protection. And like I've said before, there's a document there that I've posted that says, you know, social services were fine for me to keep custody of my son. But
this is what I'm saying. They've attended your flat. Social services are fine. But you prefer to make a phone call. Miss Matthews has a warrant for her arrest at this point. Like a bit later on. See if that'll unblur 1 second. I might have to go to the actual one.
What has any of this got to do with them anyway?
Well, this is kind of my point, but with the accusations they're making, do you know what? So far, you've disproved a lot of them. Like, you've disproved a lot of accusations they've all tried to make. They've tried to, obviously, you've requested a new solicitor to take care of your own money, because this was one of the arguments they had. You had all that money, and like all of a sudden you have nothing. And
they accused me of being human trafficked and using a fake passport and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so using fake passports. So one of the claims are, does Cairo have an English passport as well as another passport?
That's nobody's business.
Right, but that's a fair fucking answer. Listen, because I would say exactly the same thing, yeah.
The two knows it. That's got nothing to do with anything. Yeah. I've also heard an allegation that apparently I snuck into England with Cairo to get him a British passport. That doesn't make sense. How would I get him into England in the first place without the passport?
That's what she told me, and that's one of the posts that she put up as well.
Claire.
I think it was Claire or Savannah. It was one from that group.
Because I don't watch the posts, so I don't specifically, like, none of my evidence is really things they've posted. I can't be arsed watching the scruffy videos, I'll be honest. I live my life, but you know, a lot, the gaslighting as well, I've been in narcissistic relationships and it makes me ill. I can't deal with liars, so I distance myself from this a lot. I actually refuse to look at a lot of stuff because it's just lies going round in circles. It knocks me sick. You're putting my child in danger. You're accusing me of sexualising children when you are posting ridiculously sexualised things, not only on social media, but around your town, and you're completely blind to it. That's the thing. That's the most terrifying part of it, is that you're justifying it. You're arguing about it. It's bizarre. It's terrifying. People have sent the pictures too of your Instagram posts, have been shocked and not able to respond. They've been that shocked for seeing naked children on the internet. And, you know, you're making all these lies up about me as 100% projection of the truth. It's mental torture. It's got to stop.
And like you just said there, they've accused you of doing sexual acts and stuff like that around your child and stuff like that. So just to confirm that this is the only thing on your record, by the way, regarding any sexual act, was when you was obviously soliciting yourself and you wanted to earn 50 quid.
There's about 5 of them that I can send you. I thought I'd sent them you all, sorry. There's about 5 and they're quite sad. Is that the one where I had... Go on, read it.
This is the one where basically you was in the red light area of Preston, dressed in provocative underwear on display. We asked the officer what you was up to, and you stated that you was just out to earn 50 quid, and asked the officer to start speaking to her. As officer present, she was carrying. They were scaring punters away. And then you got arrested for soliciting yourself from that moment.
There's another one where I got arrested with 23 condoms. We'll have to do me police disclosure another time. I'm going to go through it on my account anyway because there's lots on there. But yeah, you know, I had a troubled upbringing. I got pimped out by Katie's first children's dad, actually. He's a horrible, horrible groomer. He's also years older than us, just like my son's dad is, my first son's dad. They're all older Asian men. And horrible. I could go on about that all night, but it's nothing to do with Claire. But that's another story.
Do you know what? With the amount of claims that they have made, like, I mean, we've got that only a last few, but this is the one that just says that they received Ellis was stopped on St Mary Street after giving false details and was issued a prosy warning. Ellis and Mal were later stopped, and Ellis stated that she was going to swap addresses with him. She's also stated that she is not going to inform social services that she is not happy with them. She states that she does not have sex with males that pick her up. She takes their money and then runs off. Was one of them. So that was one of the things there, and I think that's the one.
I was honestly, I lived a mad life. I grew up fast. I was around crackheads every day. I was on the streets, really in a knickers and bra at 16, 17 years old, because social services set me up. They said, nowhere else will take you, and we have to rent a house in your name, and it was in the red light district, and the first day I walked out the door with Katie's abusive baby daddy, who was my boyfriend at the time, and we saw this girl in all leathers in the shop, this working girl, and she had like her leather boots on, leather hat, leather jacket, leather skirt, and he locked me out the house and said, don't come back without some money. And that's how it started. And after about a year, my sister came to me to get cleaner drugs, and I ended up trying crack, and then I was fucked for a year, and it was just the maddest shit that I've read mad books, me. I've read all Martina Cole books. This was nothing on that. Like every night was near-death experiences, being seeing just the maddest shit. And I'm glad I seen it. I am glad to an extent, but there's a lot of unnecessary trauma and terror and fear, and I think that's why now I'm not really scared of my life or my future, because I've been in some dark places, and I've never really had people to help me as well. I've reached out for help and I've not, and that's why I tend to go, through things on my own. I don't reach out to people. I'm very isolated.
Yeah, you used to keeping yourself to yourself after all that.
Yeah, so I've had a crazy life, even before all that. My childhood was a bit dark, and then my family were dickheads as well, so I've never really felt like I was born into the right place or the right people. I've always felt out of place here, like didn't belong in the UK, didn't belong to them people.
And then obviously later on in life, this is where obviously Claire then comes into it in the last, let's say, couple of years of interaction or whatever. And this was the follow-on from the Facebook status post or whatever it was, right? When you wrote something and she sent this as a reply with threats.
Yeah.
So for you guys in the chat, the grey, I believe, is Claire. It just says here, listen here, you little freak, do not threaten my sister or call my nieces and nephews smelly kids, or I'll come and fucking squirrel jagger. Who do you think you are? Now, when I said she put that threat out there, Claire told me she never. And obviously Ella said, usually no such thing. You couldn't afford the flights for one, you bunch of, you know what? Funny how you're here waffling shit, you toothless, you know what? When you rang the police last night when Katie knocked on, stop it, lol. Stop it, you look like you stink of pissed a lot. The lot of you need them kids. Them kids are the most disrespectful, drugged up, nit-ridden. Listen, that sentence, nit-ridden, does me in every time. The disrespectful, drugged up, nit-ridden, looking like they get beat up for no reason, or the most neglected kids that I ever did see. Now fuck off, you silly bitch. You don't want to go there with me. And I
mean it. I'm horrible with my mouth. It's all I've got, and I use it to.
Listen, for me, it's just that one sentence that chuckles me. It's the nit-ridden bit. It just does me in every time, and I don't know why. Because you know what? Last time I heard of like nits was when my little sister had him about 3 years ago. I was like, oh my god, you got jibs.
Yeah.
But then the conversation obviously goes on, and Claire says, Toothless, you sound like a child, and considering you're comparing my nieces and nephews to Katie's offspring, says it all. Mind your neck in love and grow up. Nothing to do with my nieces and nephews. Believe me, you will know about it. You don't know me, love, but I'll tell you now, Connie ain't alone, and shit will hit the fan. Don't think you're so clever, little girl. And then Ellis replies, You're really gonna start talking about kids when yours. Oh, what happened there? There we go. When yours ain't even cold yet, is what Ellis replies. And then she put, Let's stop now, you daft bitch. And then obviously Claire replies in anger as expected to say, I'll rip your fucking head off, you silly cow.
Maybe that was a bit early, but that's what she was aiming at anyway. I feel like some people that have got dead kids bring up kids all the time because they think they've got a pass. You ain't got a pass with me, sweetheart. You give as good as you get.
So this here, like, this does show.
She's helping her sister bully and she thinks she's going to get away with it, mentioning all these kids, talking about kids non-stop, and no one's going to mention her kid because it's dead. I feel like I've done her a favour by mentioning a deceased kid instead of, imagine if I started doing all the weird things to her that she's done to me, sending people to her house, reporting her shitty little, she's a carer. Imagine her being a carer. That's terrifying for someone's grandparents, that.
So this is one thing I want to point out in this sentence, which I find rather ironic that she said this actually. So it says here, stop comparing, what is it? Yeah, you're comparing my nieces and nephews to Katie's offspring, says it'll wind your neck in. But is the same woman that's comparing her kid to Katie's kid, correct?
Yeah, she is. And she's constantly going on about Katie's kids. She needs to go away. That's what this post was about. It was about Connie had been caught out. Her son's someone's 16th birthday or so. I don't know, Katie, I'll have to tell you. Katie, tell him what happened.
Guys, I just want to say, listen, I'm not condoning this here. Like, I've never once sat here and condoned this, like Ellis saying this shit, do you know what I mean? I'm not sitting here condoning it, but I understand your opinion. Sorry, Kate.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to meet you again in a minute because my little girl's just woke up. No. Basically, it was her son's, I think it was his either 14th or 15th birthday party. They was all drinking. Connie's kids running around with no knickers on and no pants, which I took in the house and got dressed in some pyjamas. And she had a load of teenage boys and girls smashed in the back garden, taking drugs and drinking. And that's where the status stated from on Facebook. But I'm going to mute myself now because obviously I've got my 1-year-old here, so I don't really want them listening to her voice. They might get off on it.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's much appreciated. But they were all taking UGS, someone said there. Is that regarding Claire and Connie and all that?
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah, so they were just basically bullying Katie, and when I've got in the comments and said to Connie, last time I come to your house, you ran in and shut the door, and this is when she's saying she's beat me up or been arrested for it or something. It's never happened. And then obviously Claire's got in my inbox saying all that. Maybe it was a bit too soon for the inbox, but she'd already been in the comments doing the most, and then I must have stopped replying. I don't know what happened. She's inboxed me, and then it goes on from there. So it's just...
And this time,
just that. And I've got that Reaper. That Reaper was there that day, and even he put on the screenshot when they run in the house. If you've got that, put that on.
Yeah, exactly. He was there. That was my boyfriend at the time.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Shell Sweet. Right, so Ellis, we have come to the end of your file as it stands. So for anyone that's wanting, just for clarification, for anyone that's wanting to see previous stuff that we have already dropped, it is the last 3 videos in the awareness playlist on Rent a Cop Unleashed. We will also add this to it and tonight's one to it. But they're all the receipts of everything Ellis and Katie have provided here. I will do Claire's messages later on. We're going to go through all of that because regardless or not whether she says I don't have permission, I give myself 100% permission.
That's insane that she says that.
I know, and trust me, I'm a bit like you. I don't listen to no fucking authority, not some old jumped up cunt from the north. But Claire, you are welcome in the box either way, and I'm still not going to block you. I stand as I stand, just like when you called me a spineless cunt the other day. So I just replied saying you was a gutless cunt. You know, it just works both ways. Most of them are as of so far. Sorry.
Thank you for letting me have my sound. Do you want me to jump down or just mute?
Listen, it's up to you. It's up to you. If you've got more you want to say or more to add, you're more than welcome to while we're still going.
All right, well, I'll just mute for now and see what happens. Thank you very much.
No worries, babe. But this is so Claire would have had this also other opportunity. However, for some of you that may not know, Claire did originally get this opportunity and she declined it time and time again. And then she thought she was going to demand me for a second opportunity. Now we all know I don't do well with demands and I never stand by them. because me and demands just don't mix, because I get really arsey with demands. And normally I boot people straight out for that alone. So by trying to demand me didn't really work in your favour whilst you was talking to me like shit, Claire. Whilst your mate actually was alright. I don't know who they were exactly, although I've got a good idea. But like they were absolutely alright, and they were all for your favour and doing really well for you. But then you done your live with Loz the other night, and then you didn't show any of those receipts. So for you, Claire, tonight, I'm going for our very first chat we had together, leading up to that Sunday one where you dropped me your receipts. Might take a while, because you don't laugh drone on. And then we're going to go through the second lot, is what we're going to do. And then we're going to play Spot the Fucking Contradiction on both chats, is what we're going to play. So you guys just going to listen very carefully, and then spot the contradictions, possibly later on in chats, because trust me, there's many of them. There's many of them. The one thing I can say about Ellis and Katie is I've asked them this quite a few questions, a lot of it being exactly the same question, just worded differently. And every time I've got the same consistent answer. The same consistent answer. If I've sat there and said, right, okay, you just say this, they've gone, yeah, okay, that maybe was too far. Like, I've never once defended any of the bad shit either side has said. And do I have a great problem with either side? No, not really. Not really. I don't have a massive problem, because you're not going at me. I know who is going at me, although some of her side are trying to go at me. But we'll dive more into Claire later. And then you get my final thought of it all. But I'm glad this has happened, to be honest, because as my understanding, Ellis has had a little bit of a chat with Loz, and possible like future chat with Hayley Comet, just to at least so they can hear both sides. It doesn't mean anyone's got to take any sides whatsoever, but I always say it's fair for everyone to hear both sides, right? And that's how it should be. I have a problem with them letting the vile comments in the live, but not here. Mods are fair. Listen, it stands the same for either side, for or against. So, Lainey, you can be out for that. Well done. Well done. You do it to yourself, hun. Like, it's that fucking easy. You do it to yourself, and it works for all standards on either side. But listen, I'm glad all this has happened, yeah, because I've got a good insight to both sides, and I've actually really enjoyed. Like, it sounds bad, but I've really enjoyed listening to both sides. I've enjoyed it purely because it's not your normal situation. It's not your everyday situation that you always come across. And I'm fucking pleased that obviously these guys have come in and spoken their side of the truth, which is absolutely what I wanted Claire to do. However, Claire went in Loz's, showed her side of the truth, but didn't show fuck all. She did project nothing from that chat.
Sorry to interject, obviously I can't keep my gob shut. I'm really annoyed that they're avoiding this because there's big questions that need answering. I feel like Sir Smurf was trying to take accountability for things she hadn't done just to cover up, because she has done such colossal, making the D threats to Cairo was so big that she's now just taking accountability for other shit to throw me off, because it's part of this mind game where, I would like to see these I'm going to get the full disclosure anyway about all these emails, but, it's annoying me about what was said to this human trafficking organisation as to how they got these images. Also, the fact that they've manipulated people into sharing them by lying that Cairo was outside a hostel, backpackers hostel, naked, when they knew before they shared those images that he was at the hotel, because they'd shared my hotel in the Telegram group. It was around the time my passport was cancelled. I just didn't know till afterwards because I was moving house, and I genuinely didn't believe it at first when people mentioned images of Cairo. But the fact that there is undeniable evidence that they have lied in order to get these images, and that people have got information that I need to protect Cairo and still are not forthcoming with it. That
And an
it's
authority would
sickening.
never send them with no clothes on. They'd be covering that right up and blowing it out. No authority would send it out how they got it.
When I went to the place that day, the two things that the person said, he quickly pretended he couldn't speak English. It was all on live, but nobody sent me any recordings of it. And my Wi-Fi was a bit bad, but basically he said, I went there and I just put too much information on him too fast, and I should have been a bit slower. I'd printed everything off. So I put it down and I was just like, did you do this? Did you do it? Did you do it? And I should have. So I overwhelmed him and he said, look, they said they were the High Commissioner. And then he said I blurred him out. He said I blurred him out, and I didn't. I think I asked him, was he naked, but I don't remember his answer, or I forgot to ask him. But I still don't believe that he was naked
He
on
was
them
not
images.
sent.
Like, I don't
He was not sent with those scribbles over it. I can categorically tell you that.
I don't believe that. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't naked a lot, because he is. It's a daily battle to get clothes from this kid, but we're living, honestly, we'd be dripping in sweat as well, showering 3 times a day. It's boiling. But I don't believe that they would send the images undressed of him. I just can't believe it. And they're trying to say that they didn't make up any crazy allegations, or that this company were just they try and justify it by twisting my police reports and saying, look, like, social services are hunting for around different countries. I've even posted my WhatsApp chat. I reported myself to the emergency services across the board, for the police, for the NSPCC, for everything when those images got released. I made, I'll send you all them actually, just for our, we're not going to do another live route, but I'll just show them you, because I reported myself everywhere. I had conversations with a social worker, and then she closed it off because there's nothing they can do. The police have refused to do anything about Claire. There's nothing they can do. I spoke to a lawyer today. I asked her to join this live. She's a TikTok lawyer. She said she didn't want to get involved in something like this online, and I appreciate it. All her business names all over TikTok, and you know what they do. So I appreciate that, but I was just trying to get her to not reason with Claire, but explain the law to her, that even if I came to England tomorrow, I can't be questioned about anything that I did when I was in Thailand if the Thai police haven't questioned me about it.
They're happy for male comms. They seem to think police are going to work with the Thai authority and get you done with male comms. I don't know.
It's not the case. There's nothing to work with. I've gone to the police station here about naked images of my child being distributed, and the police said to me, I said, if I would need a report from you and then give it to the UK police and maybe they'll do something, and they said they won't even give me that report. Like, obviously I get a police report and I've got one, but it's not even in English. But like, they said they won't give me something to send to England. Like, they're not going to try to work with them even about naked pictures of my kid. They're not arsed. And the Thai police are very not like people think. I can't explain it because I don't know much about the system, but it's very different. Say, for example, every person who gets arrested, it's all recorded. They take pictures, they post it on Facebook, they update the community on how well the police are doing. Like, it's very different out here. It's nothing like what you think it is, and they don't get involved in stupid little things like this. They don't. So it's
not. What was it you wanted to ask?
I just wanted to get Alice to clear a couple of things up that were brought up the other. Can you hear me? In Loss's live the other night, is one of the big things that Claire's complaining about is the incident, you know, when Cairo fell into the pool?
Yeah.
Saying that he nearly drowned. I just wanted you to explain to people about the, you know, what happened on that day and about Cairo's actual swimming ability to clear that up.
Yeah.
I'll put you through.
Yeah, okay. So actually, on that day, actually, I was doing a normal live, and the fake accounts came in trolling me, calling me a beggar. And so I closed my live and I changed, like, I put a sticker on the screen and I changed the title of the live to gift me or something. And I was just yelling at people. Now, at this time, Cairo was going up and down the slide. He was playing with a kid. But if he is or is not playing with a kid, we always notify each other at the top of the slide before he goes down. He's not allowed to go down the slide. So he's gone down the slide at one point, and I was talking to my TikTok. I was responding to this dickhead troll. I was being toxic. and the kid wasn't at the bottom of the slide when Cairo's gone down the slide. So he can swim, but this was the first time at that part of this. This was a really big swimming pool. Like, it had all different parts to it at a holiday complex in Thailand. Like, there was like 7 pools all joined into one. So it was his first time at the slide, and he got into a bit of difficulty. Now, I didn't stop for 1 second. I just jumped in and saved him, because obviously it was scared he was going to struggle. But when I picked him up, he said sorry to me, and the reason he said sorry was he meant for not acknowledging me to go down the slide. That's all it was. He was just learning to talk at that point. So they've tried to say that, oh, he's drowned. Listen, love, if you saw my videos of him every day, he fucking puked water out of the swim. I'll tell you the truth. How do you think he's learnt to swim? I chucked him in from 6-month-old. I threw him in the water and made him swim up to the top and get on his back and all these things. Like, I've been swimming with the kid since he was born, and now he's free, and he's been swimming completely unaided since he was like 2 years and 3-month-old, underwater, out of water. Now he's working on diving and stuff. He's a very good swimmer. But you don't learn to walk without falling. You don't learn to ride a bike without falling off, and you don't learn to swim without drowning a couple of times. I shouldn't have been shouting at my camera, but that's just an edited clip where they've twisted it to make it seem like I was more interested in begging for money than looking after Cairo. But the truth is, I don't ever get money off TikTok. So I've had help a couple of times when I've really needed it, but I don't get money, I don't get gifts, I don't get money off here. So when they keep going on saying this, it really pisses me off, and sometimes I've got BPD, love. Sometimes I go mad.
Yeah, no, and I just wanted to clear it up, just because obviously it was something that came up the other night, and obviously we've had a private conversation about it. And then the other one that was brought up by Claire was the escalator incident.
Yes, the escalator. Apparently, he nearly fell down the escalator, or fell down the escalator.
Have you seen the video?
No, I've never seen the video for it.
Right, so it was a rage bait video of me. So I wanted to kind of show how hard work it is, because I always show like little clips, and I've never shown. It is so hard travelling with a toddler, with a suitcase and a handbag and fucking bags of shit that you pick up on the way, and he's running off and he's kicking off his shoes, and he's got an obsession with escalators, love, and I've lost him a couple of times. And I grabbed him. He ran at the escalator, and I grabbed him with a suitcase. And I'll get it anyway. They'll send you the video. But I just had a really not a stressful day, but he was very active. He wouldn't sit down for a minute on the airport. He was running all over it. So I'll cut loads of it out, to be honest. And then when I got to the plane, I just stood in front of the plane and said, social services are trying to take my baby, but I'm on the run or something like that. And people, when they saw him being naughty in the video, because he had no shoes on, he was taking them off, they were on wrong feet 1 minute, and it's just like, what do you fucking want me to do? I'm not asked if his shoes are on, as long as they're in a bag, or the needles, or they're on his 1 foot, or they're in his pocket. I'm not asked, are we getting on that plane on time? Like, I've got bigger, is he fed? Is he going to piss his pants? I don't care where his shoes are, I'll buy more. Like, I've got priorities, and honestly, sometimes I check for my passports, I've got problems, OCD, BPD as well. Like, I count things. It's social settings are a big problem for me. I struggle. So it's everything on overload. It will fuck all. If anything, I'll send you a video. If anything, I caught the kid. He didn't get hurt. He's not got any scars from any injuries, and he swings off off my gate. He can climb up and open it. He's a very strong kid. He's always out climbing trees and doing madness. So I believe in letting kids do dangerous things as long as they're paying attention. Like, let them do the dangerous things safely, as long as they're being careful. It's good to explore. You always want to climb on them steps, or walk along that thin wall. Do it. Just pay attention to what you're doing. I'm not going to be over his shoulder all the time yelling stop.
Yeah.
Like, just experience life. But he's not come to any harm. He's done all sorts. He's swam with elephants. Did they trod him to death? No. Your kid didn't even sit up straight, so shut up, disrespectful dickhead. It's fucking obnoxious. She put a post up the other day saying, I'm jealous of her. What is... I don't even want to be rude and get you banned, but I'll save it for the Telegram, but I am going to respond to that, because how dare you think there's anything to be jealous of, you middle-aged hippocrockamoose. Absolutely fucking not. I wouldn't be alive if I were you. If I woke up in your body tomorrow, I won't make it to fucking breakfast. See you later.
You know what I mean? I mean, me and Billy have seen Cairo play. Do you know what I mean? Offline, where it's just been private, we've seen him play. You know, and he's an active little boy, isn't he? He's
We was talking on the phone the other morning, and he was just chatting away. He literally just opened his eyes, and the boy was full of beans.
He ran off with porn, didn't he? I won't give it back.
He was running around, he was.
He's a pain in bum as well, don't get me wrong. You know, my mates who've come over recently, they're like, wow, he's full on. I met a girl off TikTok. He's been bit twice at school recently, so he's been biting this lady's children. I didn't know where to look or what to do. I was like, bloody hell. You know, it's hard work, and then I'm going through a lot of stress as well. I'll never deny that Cairo sees me stressed out, heading my phone, dealing with this shit way more than necessary. I don't even need to really use my phone. I don't keep in touch with that many people, but I'm always having to deal with this. And you know, you people keep saying like, just let it go now, and I might even just quit, because I've had enough. I can never leave with that on some bullshit like that, or be bullied, or this narrative be spun, or people be always wondering what happened to that kid. You never need to worry what can happen to my kid, sweetheart. He'll be sound.
No, and I do have to say, all the pictures I've seen of bruises on Cairo and marks, you know, I've got 4 children of my own. There's nothing there that I would find concerning. You know, you've been on older your kids and they're dragging themselves in and out of a pool like Cairo is. They're going to get little scrapes up knees, little bangs, you know. That's how they explore the world, you know. It's how they learn boundaries, what they can and can't do. You know, you don't want to wrap them up in cotton wool. You know, he lives a very different lifestyle to kids in the UK as well. So he is out climbing trees and things like that. So he is going to get a couple of little scrapes and bangs, but that's completely normal.
And it is, yeah.
It is. You know, if that's all that they've got in 3 years of being a single mom, he ran for an escalator and I caught him, and he almost drowned once when I'm a single mum that's taught him to swim on my own. I think that's pretty good going, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's, you know, we've all got near misses and shit that's happened. My other kid was about 3 weeks old, and I were going round the roundabout off the motorway in my new Audi A3, and I realised I could hear this dink, dink, dink it back. The car seat was rolling around the car as the car was going. I'd not fucking, the seatbelt had failed or whatever, and the car seat was just, shit happens. The kid was fine, he was strapped into the car seat, but the car seat weren't strapped into the car, and it was rolling around the back of the car as I were, very bad thing to happen. I pulled over and rectified it, but shit does happen. Like, you can only learn from things. I'm a single mum in another country. There's times when I've been walking down the street, sweating my neck off. I've got his bike round my neck. I've got 20 bags from night market. I've got Cairo swinging off my hip. And I'm, how do you think I do everything on my own? It's not an easy task. There's a lot of blood, sweat and stress goes into it. A lot of taxi drivers get backhanded. It's not all fucking fun and games. It's all right for a kid to run around at beach, but for me to provide him this life, it's a graft. I don't have anybody paying my bills. I don't have any income from the UK. I don't get fuck all. And I have to contribute towards them bloody kids as well.
When you state, I don't think any of my 4 kids almost drowned, right? Now, let me tell you now, living out in Spain, I see multiple kids, and I mean fucking loads, more than there were taking an eye on kids, that nearly drowned. Let me tell you that, living in Spain, it's far more common than you think. Just because you don't see it, when you live in a holiday destination and stuff like that, it's way more common. I've seen people leave their kids in the street up the road and then lose their kids. It's a fucking different world. So people do, lots of kids do, and it's not a case that they need to do. They fall in, and it's kind of like a panic moment. But most kids know to go like that.
Yep.
It's a natural thing when you hit the go to your back.
That's it, sorry, I just realised something and just wondering. before when we were covering that, I know that they're hard to post, but how do you? The people should be outraged about those images that they post of their kids online. How do you make people aware of those images without actually showing them to them? Like, obviously, the difficult images to post even on a live because
Yeah,
there's
see,
at
we
least
normally
there's one of
we
the
don't
kid in the
do
bed
direct.
with a.
But if there are images of children of that kind anywhere on, like, say, if we see it on TikTok or on YouTube, we just get people to just mass report the fucker. We do the same with TikTok.
They were mainly, yeah, well, we need to do that mainly on Instagram. I reported the YouTube where Claire was changing her daughter, and that did get, I think a YouTube, either she took a YouTube down as the video, but they emailed me back and said we've took action, but the YouTube went, so I don't know if she took the account down or they did. But then that's after that she's saying that I'm bloody sexualising kids and that. No, there's that Connie's got a picture of her kid in bed with a blanket half covering it with its legs open. There's another one of a video of it naked in the bath, moving around under the water. There's another one of its head down the toilet. There's another one of it sat on the kitchen side, fully naked with its hands covering its privates. There's another one of on a kid's 18th birthday. She's put posters all around her hometown of her little baby naked with his todger out. Like, fair enough, I've heard of people doing it in a private party hall, you know, embarrassing in front of the friends, but around the town for any dirty old man or woman to see, that's terrifying. And this is the people that are posting my child and making videos with masks on saying, say pedo, say pedo. The same people whose cousin who has accused her own multiple people of these sexual crimes, they obsess over it because they know it's a way to ruin someone's life. There's them women in life that make these horrible allegations about men, and she's one of them. And it's not only about men, it's about anybody. She said it about Katie. She said it about anybody who disagrees with them or that they have a falling out with in life. And that's why her friend or whoever it is who's got a baby with her brother, Zoe, went to jail for putting a thingy to the 1-year-old's neck because he broke up with Connie and she accused him of doing that to a 16-year-old. The mental. That's proper P3 deal stuff. That's undeniable. And these are the people sharing my kid and justifying it as fault. Oh, Cairo's at risk, Cairo's at risk. So people don't realise that they're sharing that picture and they're getting off on it even more. Like, oh my God, people are sharing it. Wow.
He's at risk, but then sharing photos like that of him, which then puts him at greater risk. Then this has always been my
And then they deny it.
to save him when actually they're sharing photos like that of him, whether it's scribbled out or not. You're still sharing photos like that of him unknowingly, and you still don't have permission. That's not safeguarding or looking after a child.
You know, it's mental. They've got zero evidence of anything that Cairo needs safeguarding. I've been investigated already, you know, about whatever they accused me of last year. No one's asked about a slipping swimming pool when I've posted videos about him swimming before. I just wanted to say thank you as well for that app. It does work and it traces Cairo's body so I can blur him completely and I can still post.
Yeah.
It works. I tried it today just on a little 5-second clip, and so that means I can still make my usual content with Cairo in it. I can save that video for myself and then I can edit it and blur Cairo in the video and still have him in content because that's good without him being seen, protect him. Because it's so hard to make, but I don't like doing satire content actually. But I get angry. Say that again, sorry.
If they're going to be posting shit like that, then absolutely, listen, it's the best thing to do because now they can't ever use any more like stuff that you've used on TikTok, like to use him as bait. Only if they do it.
No, I'm never going to put him in danger again. I'll never proper feature him in content, but it's just so hard to try to completely cut him out. And that's why I started doing satire content because I'd just do it when he weren't speaking anything near me. And then I'd be like, quick, get a clip or something. But it's so hard making them videos. The thing is, I was doing videos on the things I've been accused of, but now it's got so twisted. I'm almost borderline fucking strange for making a joke out of it. But that's how my brain processes. I pace back and forth for a couple of days. I don't know how to explain how I feel, but I don't know. I was trying to explain to somebody, like, I feel like I'm screaming from the top of the lungs and I've not been heard. Like, this whole situation about how Cairo's been put in danger by these wankers, and they've managed to spread this narrative. They've managed to infiltrate so many different like legal. They've had me investigated. They've like it's fucking mad.
And this is what
And
I
they
mean.
want justice. They think that they've got a leg to stand on legally. She actually really I was telling this sister before and she was gobsmacked, and I started off with everything. I said, look, love, I'm going to tell you the worst bits that I've done first. I said, I've pissed on a picture, I've printed it off, I've sent her a picture of it on a balloon. I said, I've sent threats to beat her up. I've sent threats to eat a deceased baby, maybe dig it up and eat it. I'll just tell the truth of like the worst things that I've said to her. I've probably said them things along. I've said it in Telegram. I'll dig your kid up and eat it. So I just told her, and I said, right, that's what I've said, but it's in retaliation to this and in response to this. And she said, look, by the law, you can't be investigated for something that happened in Thailand when you go to England. And because I've got pending further investigation, multiple complaints against Claire, she is liable to answer for those crimes when I come to England. And she's extremely delusional to think that she isn't. And the amount of evidence that I have got, I believe that I believe I'd get to court. I do. I genuinely do. I've got evidence. I've got witnesses.
I've got, two things as crimes that she's done, although she's claiming to have you done for crimes. But I've already pointed out 2 things that she's done as crimes, which is more severe than what she's claiming against you.
Yeah. So many crimes. So many crimes. It's not a crime to print off a picture of her profile on Facebook and take a piss on it. It's not a crime to piss on a picture. It's a crime to maybe do a sex act to a dead picture or something, because they've got laws on some. I don't know what they'll
believe it or not, and I had to search high and low for the answer. But do you know what? Unbeknownst and believe, to my amazement, yeah, you're correct. It's not a crime. It's actually not considered.
It's not
an illegal.
It's an immoral thing to do. I'll have to answer God about that when I die. It's not over that. I will have to fucking deal with that. And I believe it. I'm a spiritual person. That fucked me up having to do that. Honestly, it doesn't sit right with me. And I would like to apologise to the child for involving her in this. But I will never apologise to that woman in my life. I hope she suffers every day of her life. I hope every time she sees Katie's daughter, every fucking kid she ever looks at, she sees a kid. I hope she does. I hope she's in agony. I hope she's watching this now, fucking slitting her wrists, the bitch. Can't stand her. I love TikTok shop. But she's horrible. She's deranged. She, honestly to God, she needs to take herself to doctors. She needs to show the doctors her and her sister's posts and phones and pictures of people's kids, and they need to tell truth. Their heads must be a horrible place to be.
Sorry, I talked. I definitely say there is undealt grief on Claire's part. Listen, from my personal opinion, I believe there is undealt grief with there on Claire's part, and I can't lie. I do believe you obviously pissing on the picture has just heightened that even more. And I do understand why. I do understand why she's done and why she's gone the way she. I get it. I do get it. She seems to think I don't, but I do. Because listen, if someone did that, right? It don't matter who you are, you'd lose your shit, right?
And they just touching on mental health. They say, "Oh, you can't blame your mental health." Right? So I just want to point something out. They want to separate me and Cairo because I'm harmful to him, and the reason they want to separate us is because that harm is lifelong lasting, and they know that there's no way to protect him if what they say is true, other than separating us. So if they're admitting that the damage to Cairo, should what they allege is true, be lifelong, then they can't deny that my own child abuse has affected me lifelong. And the reason I showed that psychological before was because if you followed me for any period of time, it's very clear that I do have extreme behaviours with a lack of consideration for consequence. And if I feel that I am right about something, honestly, this has ruined my fucking life for 2 years. I've wasted my time. I could have been on beach sucking a dick, and I've sat in my fucking apartments, flats, and stressed out every day rather than enjoying life over this. Some mong on internet terrorising me. I don't. The reason I'm a bit angry is because I feel like it's still not going to stop. I feel like it's not going to stop.
Last week you were like, "Oh, sorry, I wasn't meant to say that."
No, I was meant to say it. It's just who I am. I just speak how I speak. I don't really mean offence, but I'm not changing for the internet. I'm not, like, I am common. I swear a lot and I say stuff, but I don't, if I'm directing it at you, you know, but I'm just who I am. I am a different type of person because I've had to live on my own.
Quite a while, yeah, and
You
I've
know?
never known you to portray yourself to be any different. So the one thing I've noticed here is one person's taking accountability while the one person's not. That's the one thing I am definitely. That is exactly
Because,
what
I do feel bad. I've spoken to Claire's baby's dad and heard him crying. And I feel bad also, I'd offer you to speak to him, but he's not able to have a conversation. He's a fucking idiot.
No,
he just jumps his mind.
I don't want a conversation with him. If he can't conduct a normal conversation, I won't even entertain or listen to him.
That's why I've had to distance myself from it. I respect the guy. I feel really sorry for him. He's a victim of years of coercive abuse and the reason he can't have a conversation now is because of his relationship with her. And if you look at pictures of him when they first got together and before, he was a nice, normal one of the boys, and now he's a wreck. He sits in his crusty little council flat on the Grange all day and night, rocking back and forth, and she dictates as and when he can see his kid or be happy or this, that and the third. And for some reason, he's in the palm of her hand. He can't fucking stand her and what she does to him. But she's all he's got after the way she played the Bonnie situation out. Now, like I say, he didn't want that child to be born. They were told it wasn't a viable pregnancy. He didn't want the kid, but she had the kid anyway. She put everybody through that. And, these are all things that do need to be taken into consideration when you're considering all of this woman's actions and behaviours in a mental capacity. She was locking herself in a bathroom, cutting all her hair off, cutting her wrists up. This is real, telling her kids that she couldn't deal with them. She was begging social services to take the disabled child that died, Bonnie, 3 days a week. They had respite workers. She couldn't look after the kids. She couldn't cope because she'd had 8 kids on benefits. She'd been told on the 4th to stop having children, and she didn't. She carried on. She had 2 disabled ones and kept going. Like, people should be fucking outraged, not applauding it, not feeling sorry for it. How dare you do that to your already 7 children that have grown up in fucking poverty, and now you're forcing them to watch something like that for what? A hold over your baby daddy because your relationship was fucked. It's not a good enough excuse to ruin people's lives and then to keep disrespecting the child's honour after it's died. And this would have ended a long time ago. The picture never would have been urinated on, printed off, or disrespected in any capacity had she stopped. But when she started posting Cairo naked, then enough's enough. I had to do something extreme, and the main reason I did it was to get all of your attention, not hers. Yeah, I wanted to ruin her day, but I needed to get everybody's in one place and listen, and it backfired on me in the worst way. People didn't.
Something extreme to be heard.
Yeah, because the orphanage story worked. People wanted to fucking hear what I had to say when I did that. So that's what I was thinking. I need to do something again to get people to listen to me. Why would I do that? But they didn't care what I had to say. They only was like, oh my God, you're a mum on the run. You're a monster. Why would you do that? And to me, I was like, I've been kind to do that. Like, that's the minimalist thing I was planning. What you on about? I'm going out of my mind. You're letting people think I'm a fucking wrong, and you're having me stalked and attacked by people investigating me. I'm losing my mind out here. How dare you do all this when you're detached to wrong'uns and you're doing everything you're accusing me of? It's mental torture, and nobody believes me. Don't want to listen to me because I pissed on a fucking picture. Like, I've been going mad. They've had people sharing indecent images of my kid based on false allegations and neglect. And even when I've proven, he was at his hotel, delete the pictures, he was at his house, he's fucking where he's supposed to be safe, get it down, he's not at an hostel, they've lied, and people still try to find a way to justify my child being on this app naked, and you expect me to walk away and delete it when people are doing shit like that.
There is no justification for that. And in Claire's part later, you will hear the justifications, you will hear they weren't posted in there and you will hear, well, you will probably be asleep, but I will always up on the YouTube anyway. But tonight I'm going to go through the whole chat me and Claire had, written chat and then voice notes, whatever it contains, through both chats. Now, be warned for you fuckers, it's probably going to be about an hour and a half of listening, but it's got to be done. just so you can all listen and pinpoint the bullshit yourself and what's
I
what.
really want to hear it, but I don't know if I can do that. Early morning with it being Monday.
You know,
I don't know.
so are the awareness teams who went for Ellis going to apologise? Well, listen, I think in certain aspects, I think Ellis is at least owed a listening ear by all these people that have gone through, whether it be awareness teams or other big creators. I think they're at least owed to listen to Ellis's side of the story. I absolutely do believe that one side has been reported, and while you see snippets online, I'm a pretty good judge of character, and I can tell the way online life works. I'm doing it for nearly 15 years. But so I know I've got a pretty good idea of how online life works and then how it goes. But I definitely do think Ellis is owed an absolute explanation of some sort as to why her side wasn't listened to or even asked for. Because I believe each side should be
Yeah.
asked for, as with the new saga coming up. So I just want to mention also, Ellis, I know you mentioned Savannah. Savannah's not out the clear because she's due to come up in the next saga we are currently onto at the moment. So she is not out the clear. She is
Savannah,
involved.
what? Sorry, say that again.
So Savannah is not the end of Savannah. She is currently involved in another saga right now, which we're currently right on. So it's not the end of her. She is still going around trying to proclaim to be this amazing thing that she's by far not. So it's not.
Well, I've just. Sorry, go on.
Go on, carry on. You can go now. Sorry.
I've completely blanked her and starved her for this is the first time I'm mentioning her and I don't even want it. I've seen the comments and ignored them.
Well done.
She's not more decent than Claire at all. That's definitely her on that account. I don't have anything to say to or about that person. You see, this is deeper because it's to do with my friend. It's Katie, you know, it's her kids and stuff. It's real world shit. But Savannah came from nowhere and attacked me and my son, and she's made a lot of the. Claire's probably found it okay. I would even go as far as to say that Savannah's probably instigated a lot of the more severe conversations and let's do these allegations.
It does come up.
Savannah is. But I think Claire will be playing it on the dead kid thing, like she's manipulated that lot. Now I've looked into who Loz is and I've seen that I feel like I posted Loz. I don't know how they've ended up reaching out to her, but they've manipulated her because she's got a deceased child as well. And I don't know. Loz, I've reached out, tried to give her my evidence. I've reached out to a few people who've made videos about me. I don't know. I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion of me.
No, but it's fair that people hear both sides and then they can make a full judgment.
They owe me an apology, and the only reason I'm not actually mad anymore is because I were going mad and I've not even watched the videos they've made. Like, I don't know what they've said, and I still can't watch it because some of the shit they're saying is still a bit gaslighty about themselves. Like, I've called them something that's inappropriate when... No, you've actually, a few people have made incorrect videos, and I get it why. I'm a controversial person. I do say mad shit, but, you know, again, I'm not blaming my mental health, but that is a document that gives you an explanation as to why I react the way I do, and then if you can just try and generalise yourself and put yourself in my situation, you know, how are you going to react? There's times when I thought there's no way out, there's times when I thought I need to go to Mongolia and throw my phone out at plane.
Life with Ellis has just entered. While we're on the subjects, because I know you're recording, so that recording you put up with me, what I said about that woman, about her drinking her kid under, is 100% true. But in reply to that, because I screen recorded that video, I'm going to clap back with exactly what that woman threatened to do. And what was that? Oh, she threatened to rape a 12-year-old. So, yeah.
Wow.
Nice try, Life with Ellis.
Is that one about Alison?
So, no, that one's about someone else at a three-letter group that are totally irrelevant, trying to strive themselves at the moment, and they're flopping in all aspects because they're that irrelevant. And if they don't think of still everything, they'd be very wrong. Gosh, it's all. So, yeah, I don't take nothing.
Disgusting.
I said to that woman, she drank a kid under, and I know she did. So I know who you've been in cahoots with, hun. No, I know who it is. I know who you've been in cahoots with, hun. And the fact I've merely got your conversation as well. Because you're coming up very soon, hun.
Savannah is like, I'd say Claire is. I'd say Claire is a date. Like when it comes to all the things. Connie's obviously posted more indecent shit online. So I don't know who's responsible for what, but like of her own kids on her Insta and shit. Claire, there was only the one post, but like. Savannah is knowingly like just evil. Claire's a bit. They play off they act the way they act. Like no, like they genuinely don't know that what they're doing is dangerous for their children. They've got the kids in the school uniform on the next picture after the one of them naked. Like, how could you advertise your kid for danger more than that? Pictures of them on scooter outside their house.
I say that's the danger zone. The thing is, you're advertising your kid in a school uniform, then that's telling a predator exactly what school they go to. Like,
exactly, but Savannah's more mental.
Danger.
I speak to Savannah's husband's family, and they can't get involved anymore because Savannah's reported them all to social services. She's threatened them. Like, the people are terrified of her in her own family, and they've said she like attacks them. If like she'll have screaming outbursts and attack her family, and she blames it on bipolar and stuff. But she's a menace. She's actually a horrible person. Whereas Claire, I think she's a bit more docile. She's dopey. She's she's not aggressive like that. Like
in that sense.
Yeah, but Savannah's like evil. She's honestly, I dread to think what her kids have experienced in that house behind them dog cages and screaming, bellowing at them on Christmas Day when they're crying about the 2 for 20. Honestly, my heart broke thinking about them on Christmas. Like, what a scruffy bastard, scruffy individual living like that and having you ain't got the time bullying anybody, sweetheart. You've got a lot of work you need to be doing. Like, you should be busying yourself with your own ordeals.
I mean, well, she's busy at the moment, just not in the way that she should be busy, which is unfortunate for Savannah. And, for a woman that's meant to...
I don't know what's going on, but she genuinely does need prison now. Claire needs a smack at wrist in a way because she needs therapy, but that's
going to be shit. Savannah. So,
she needs jail or nothing.
I mean, and I agree.
So what's going to happen is there going to be an exposure now.
Right, so the next thing is, what are your final words? Because all I'm doing tonight, I'll explain it as the next few days go on, because we've got a couple of things coming up. We've just got a few things to sort out and finalise with that first, but we're going to start something else in that process. And once that's done, we can hop straight on it. But it will be very soon, and it will be like an awareness. Yeah. I've got people coming to me about this woman, and when I'm talking about people, it's people that some of my people have had dealings with that they don't like. However, they've all had a lot of dealings with this woman, and I'm not fond of all these people that have had dealings with her, but because some people I know from years back. However, I'm interested to hear, and I'm always open to ears, because the one thing I thrive off here and thrive off my comments is that people just have a broader mind and not be so close-minded. That's the only thing I ask and thrive off in the comments, is that people broaden their mind and look at the whole aspect and the whole picture and not just what's projected in front of them.
Of course, yeah. And that's why I appreciate
one sec. Kez, off your fuck, yeah? Get out on your Vimto Bubbles account. No one wants you here. Do one. Sorry.
Well done, hon. Sorry. Well done. Bang on it now. So what would your final
I don't really have a final.
Connie and all that.
I don't really have one because I feel like they're not going to stop. Like I say, I keep trying to move on with my life, and the more that I make an effort to do that, the more they do this. So I don't know. I feel like the app needs to do its job here, and I don't see it happening. And so I don't know where we go from here, genuinely. But like, you've been exposed on every level. Fuck you, like, leave me alone. Even your baby dads in our inboxes, like, it's pathetic, it's embarrassing, it's degrading for your whole family. Like, honestly, just end it now. Just find something else. Claire needs therapy, Savannah needs jail. That's all I've got to say. I'd just like to thank you. Like I say, I know it's been a lot of messages, and I've really tried to not message you like about anything else, and I feel like that's so ignorant. Like, it's not that I'm trying to be rude or anything, but I've just wanted to. I don't try and befriend people or anything sly, or, you know, I just want to get to the bottom of this, and you are a great host. I'm actually terrible for talking over people and interrupting, and sorry, I've just got so much.
Well, don't worry, I'm a very
could
good
talk
listener.
about this.
Listen, if I come out to Thailand soon, I'll definitely say hello, you know that. And listen, I will stay in contact anyway, so I won't just cut contact
Appreciate
or anything like that. But Ellis, honestly, thank you so much. And listen, on the whole of it, thank you
very
for
much.
sharing your life with us, like your side of the story. Thank you for sharing paperwork that you didn't never have to share to anybody. And thank you for giving us an insight into your life and what goes on. And honestly, I can't thank you enough for that. And I'm not condoning some of the stuff you've done and said. However, I can't help but thank you for just being honest and projecting exactly what you said.
No problem. Thanks for having me, and I'll jump down and let you. I'll be just in the background. Thanks very much.
No worries, Ellis. Sweet. Get a good night's sleep because I know it's late for you.
I will do. Thanks
All
very
right.
much. See you in a bit.
Big up, Ellis. Thank you.